Howdy, folks, and welcome to episode 72, Playing with Yourselves. Tiger Shadow, I came up with that all on my own. So there you have it. I've got the same warped sense of humor as Mr. McMurray, so that's where we are. It's been 2 weeks. Honestly, it feels like it's been forever. So I do apologize for last week. We had a family emergency, if you will. Truth be told, my brother's mother-in-law passed away 2 weeks ago this coming Saturday, so a week ago last Saturday, and spent some needed family time to help the process, if you will. So I do apologize, but thank you all for understanding. Let's go ahead and do a quick rundown of what our comments are so far. We got Tiger Shadow. I suppose McMurray came up with the name of this week's episode, something he would do. Again, like I said, I came up with it. All mine, all my doing. It's my fault, but there you have it. Chuck says, evening. Who else is home alone? I'm not. I'm here. Wife's in the other room. Cats are around. Not in here. I can't have them in here because of that. We'll get into that here in just a second. Dave Hall's in the house. Good evening, loners and those who are with others. Reese, welcome, sir. Evening, y'all. And I will extend my condolences to them for you. And then Hissy is in the house. Hello, Hissy Cat. Hola, dudes. Hola yourself. Welcome, one and all. So, why did I decide to talk about solo gaming? Well, it's something that I have been attempting to do last couple of weeks. And it's hard for me to solo game. Especially a new game, one that I've never played before. Board games specifically. Again, Normandy 44 is what I've got on the table here. It looks like it's going to be a fun game. I got through turn one. I got a video that I need to put out regarding turn one, but internet being what it is out here in the sticks, my squirrels haven't been running fast enough, so I've been having a hard time getting it posted. Hopefully I can get it posted overnight and it'll show up tomorrow, maybe, fingers crossed. But the problem I have, and I've mentioned this before, I don't like reading rules. I don't like reading rules, and when the rules are not in a fashion that's step by step of how the game plays, it's even more so. I find it overwhelming. I'm getting it. I'm understanding. Monkhouse, hello, sir. Evening, everyone. Welcome, sir. Welcome. So I'm having. I get overwhelmed when I'm reading the rules, especially these rules. There's not, honestly, there's not a lot to them, but like I said in the private, like I said to the guys in our private chat, I can see that the game is going to be fun. I can see that the system is going to be good, which leads me to want to get Salerno 43, which leads me to want to get Ardennes 44, which I should be getting from McMurray this weekend. France 40 is out there. These are all by Simonich, the 4X series of games. Probably won't get any of the East Front because the East Front does not interest me at all. I understand its importance, and the Russians did more than their share, what have you. That I'm not debating the importance of the East Front or my lack of desire to have anything to do with the East Front is not saying, oh, well, it was, they didn't do anything. No, I fully admit that without the Soviets doing their thing and beating the crap out of the Germans over there, we wouldn't be where we are today. Maybe a little longer. I don't know. That's a topic that honestly I don't want to dive into because people get really pissy about it. But what I'm saying is, personally, it holds no interest to me whatsoever. So I'm not going to spend time, money, and effort on something that doesn't interest me. And I'm not enough of a completionist that I have to go out and buy the games just so I have them. I am a completionist on some things. For instance, Force on Force, all the Osprey books. I've got all the Osprey Force on Force books from Ambush Alley. We're going to talk about that here in just a second also, what's happening there. But I can see where the game is going to be fun, and I'm getting through the rules, and I'm starting to get them. But there's a lot of but ifs. This is the rule, but if this happens, the rule is different. And once I get my brain around that, I think it'll be better. Once I get a regular turn or two out of the way here, it'll make a lot more sense to me, and it'll go more smoothly. I've had this up, about 10 days now, and honestly, I'm only in turn 2. I'm in the German portion of turn 2. No, I'm in the American portion of turn 2. It just, I've also been spending a lot of my evenings the last couple of days, well, not only with my brother and his wife and their kids, eating dinner with them every night and just spending time and like I said, going through the process with them. But the last couple of days, been spending time with the wife, watching TV, watching movies. She had never seen Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins, and so we watched that last night just on a whim. I picked it up on Tubi. Didn't even know that was a thing. Another streaming service I've got. This one doesn't cost anything because you got to watch ads. You know what? I'm okay with it. Not a problem. She enjoyed it. Sunday, we watched all kinds of movies on Sunday. And I'll get back to the solo gaming. And y'all probably don't care. But anyway, Dead Poet Society, Weekend at Bernie's, Weekend at Bernie's, St. Elmo's Fire, Dead Poet Society, and then there was one other that we watched on Sunday, just for Father's Day. Kids we're all coming home or headed back home in Kansas City from their river trip, so no kids around to spend time with. Jay, Beth, and the kids were off on to their previously scheduled vacation. It was going to be a cruise turned into Disney. that's a whole nother story that we won't go into. So I really haven't had time to, really sit down and play it. Of course, now tonight I've got the show, so I can't play tonight. But I think I'll dive in a little harder tomorrow, and see if I can't get rolling with it. But again, solo gaming for me is hard because I game for the social interaction. So that's where we are. I don't mind solo gaming. In fact, I've got a couple of solo games that I like to play. Like I said, I've got that football game that I've been playing. Paul, dude, I am so glad to see you. I hope you're doing well. I heard you had some rough go of it. Please, 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 I hope you're doing well. Let us know. I'm glad you're here. I really am. I've actually seen a couple of folks shout out on YouTube, sending out videos wishing you well. So you are a well loved character, Paul. Keep getting better. I hope to keep having you around for a good long time. So, I'm glad you're getting better, sir. Take it slow, take it easy. We did miss you, and I'm glad you're back. Speaking of someone else we need to keep in mind, Warmut was had another almost near heart attack. This time it was ACW figures that he's been painting. It wasn't a board game. He is going to be on a weight loss routine to help with the heart. He's got to go back to the cardiologist, look at his meds, etc. Me, I'm back on meds for my diabetes and my high cholesterol, not high blood pressure, my high cholesterol. So we've got that going in my life. It sucks getting old, guys. If there's any of y'all out there that are younger than I am, and for whatever reason, a lot of you guys are older than me, I appreciate y'all coming and spending time. But for those of y'all that are younger than me, Reese, I definitely know you're younger than me. Dave Hall, I don't know if you're younger than me or not. But for you guys, Bunkhouse, I don't know if you're younger than me or not. But for you guys that are younger, don't get old. It sucks. Trust me, it sucks. Anyway, back to solo gaming. Part of the reason I have a hard time with solo gaming. Okay, Hissy, you're about 8 years ahead of me. So, the reason I have a problem with solo gaming is I game for the social interaction. You know, I like sitting across the table from somebody, rolling dice, pushing figures, pushing counters. It's not the game that I'm playing that's important, although the game needs to be entertaining. I have to enjoy the game, but the game doesn't matter as long as I'm playing a game that my opponent and I are enjoying, and we can talk and have a good time. That's what's important. So sitting here listening to music or watching YouTube videos, or I just watched The Longest Day while figuring this out. Go figure. Um, it's difficult for me to focus. Uh, so that's the problem I'm having. The problem I'm having is getting myself to sit down and play the game. I know I'll have a good time with it. Um, I I know that I know for a fact if I had actually had somebody sitting across from me playing the game, it would definitely be better. Um, so now there are games out there that are designed specifically for solo gamers, and I've enjoyed two of those so far. One of them is that roll the dice football game that Todd introduced me to. I have enjoyed that quite a bit. I really like that. I want to delve deeper into that as well. He created his own 8-team league. I think I'm going to do the same thing, and really, find it interesting. Uh, and then um, the the Hunters game, the World War II German Wolfpack U-boat early war game. I thoroughly enjoy that, and it is a solo game. However, what got me hooked on it is when uh, Matt and I, back when Matt was still gaming, we would get together and he had the game. He would have me come on a live stream with him, and we would uh, basically discuss how the game's played, play the game. I would be there as commentary and also kind of, hey, let's go this route. Um, so I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with solo games or playing games solo. I've never played a miniatures game solo. Uh, that one I would have a hard time doing, I think. Um, I don't know why. I think because miniature gaming is so much more ingrained as a social construct for me. Uh, going down to the game store when I lived in Austin, going down to the game store and seeing all my friends, going to conventions and either running games or playing games for all the people that are there. In 2 weeks, basically 10 days from now. Well, actually, no, in 8 days from now. Friends from all over the place are coming to Central Illinois for my brother's J3 invitation gaming event. We've got, we're going to be playing games all weekend starting Thursday night on into the 4th of July on Monday. People are going to head home, that afternoon. So to me, miniature gaming is definitely more interactive with other players. Board games, I see myself more playing solo board games. Don't know. I don't know why. Reese, to answer your question, opinion on cooperative games. I'm fine with cooperative games. I love cooperative games. The thing again is it's whether you're my opponent or you're my collaborator, my co-op wingman, or I'm your wingman or whatever. Again, it's the social interaction that's the important thing. We could be playing tic-tac-toe, be playing hangman, don't care. It's the social interaction that really drives my love of gaming. What the solo gaming does for me is actually what I'm doing is learning how to play the game so I can take it to some place, lay it out, and say, okay, you've never played Normandy 44. That's fine. Sit down. We'll go through it, and by the end of the session, however many turns we get into it, you'll know how to play the game too. That's my goal there. Hissy Cat says, as a kid, I could not get my dad or brother to play war games with me. I had Tactics 2 and Blitzkrieg from Avalon Hill and played solo for years. And again, I know a lot of people that are like that, and that's okay. I'm not denigrating your ability to play solo. I know Jeff over at Hex to Hex, and also Todd at Wardrobe plays World War II. Both of those guys play solo quite a bit. McMurray plays board game solo quite a bit. I'm kind of the odd man out. Warmut has played miniatures, Fistful of Lead solo. I think that's another thing is the game itself needs to be able to. I think board games are a little easier to solo game than miniatures games, unless, Reese, you play Fistful of Lead solo as well. The game itself has to lend itself to solo play. A game like, and don't run me up the flagpole for this one, but a game like Warhammer 40K or Warhammer Fantasy doesn't lend itself to solo play because it's a you go I go system, and it's hard to, at least in my mind, it's hard to effectively not choose sides. And I'm having a hard time. I'm kind of having this with there. Hey, Chris Long. Hello, all. How's it going, eh? It's going well, sir. Thank you for dropping in. I appreciate it. So, there are some games out there that lend themselves to solo play better than others. And in fact, many board games have solo compatibility rating of 0 through 9 or something like that, where in some cases it's damn near impossible to play solo, where others are, well, the Hunters, the Hunted, those games that are designed as solo games are 100% soloable. There are a few miniatures games that lend themselves better to solo play. Fistful of Lead, honestly, is one of them. And in fact, Jay Wiley has come out with a Fistful of Lead solo play sheet. It's a free download at wileygames.com, wiley-games.com. It's free downloads. It's a one-sheeter. Gives you the ability to, run solo. Another game that I find is kind of easy to play solo is Force on Force. At least for me, any game that's not an I go, you go, but it's I get to choose a unit that activates, and then either randomly another one is generated, or by a chit pull or a card pull, or something like that, or it's just I get this unit to go, and then you get to choose a unit to go, back and forth. That tends to go that way as well. Hizzy Cat says, I had Airfix Plastic Napoleon minis, my first real minis, and made up my own mini rules solo. There you go. So yeah, any game, in many cases, just about any game can be played solo. Some are just better at it than others. Again, a chit pull or a card draw, in my opinion, is really uh, does a really good job of uh, allowing you to play solo. Um, Another example is World at War. Used to be a chit pull, now card draw. Those that tends to do a good job of allowing for solo play. So, what are some of the other things that is important in a game for solo play? Uh, as I was saying, the force activation. Uh, the way you activate units um, is important. Again, I find it I find it easier either, like I said, with a chit puller card draw, or one fire team goes, then another fire team goes, and then another fire team goes. Uh, so that now one thing with fistful or not fistful lead force on force is the opposed rolls. Um, and the only thing you got to do there is make sure if you roll the dice together that you've got separate colors. Unfortunately, I don't have that. I've got all of I from back in the day with uh, Ground Zero games, Dirt Side, and I'm drawing a blank. Good lord, guys, I'm losing it. Dirt Side and Star Grunt. Woo. Um, Back then when the color of the die meant, and you didn't have to do it this way, but it made it easier. Your troop quality was an orange, a green, a blue, and that was a if you were green, you were six. You used six siders. If you were blue, you used D8s. If you were orange, you used D10s. So I grabbed when I started playing Force on Force. Well, it uses six, eights, tens, 12s based on the quality of the troops. And for convention purposes, it was just easier to say, okay, your regular troops, so you're going to be rolling d8s. Go grab blue dice. Go grab 8 blue dice because you get one for each fire team member. Then you get one for the under rifle grenade launcher. You get one. You get 2 for the saw, and you get one more just because you're cool. You know, pick up 8 dice, roll. Good. Okay, you're defending. You get 5 because you get one for each of your trooper. For each trooper, plus you got body armor. Boom, there's 5. So roll. And I've got 20 of each, 10 for each side. So playing solo, I either have to roll 2 sets and keep them separate, or find different color D10s, different color, etc. Um, Tiger Shadow's got a good point. Solo means no rules Nazis, unless you're a rules Nazi yourself, and then you're just being a jackass. He says I have so many dice because of all those rule sets. Yep, I'm right there with you. I do have a single bag that's got all my green D6s, all my blue D8s, all my. I couldn't find enough orange D10s, so I went with white D10s and all my red D12s. So, and then I've got multiple dice bags of everything else. Um, so there you have that. But it's, solo gaming is, again, I don't think I'll ever solo game miniatures. I'll always look to see if I can find an opponent for miniatures. Luckily, Donna, my wife, is not adverse to sitting down and playing a game against me. Um, her rolls are really, really good. My rolls are really, really bad. So inevitably, I end up losing. But it doesn't matter whether it's my wife or somebody else. That's what happens. I also got my brother Jay literally right out a mile away. So when the stars align and we can get together, we were hoping to be able to play at least once or twice a month. Lately, hasn't been happening. That's okay. And I am only about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from Todd and McMurray, so I can get a game in with them about once a month. So, for miniatures gaming, I don't have to worry about solo gaming like Warmutt does. Warmutt feels like he's out on this desert island of no gaming because he lives out in Arizona. However, there are people that are even play Fistful of Lead that are on the Wiley Discord that he needs to get a hold of. I don't know what's but besides, of course, having a near heart attack, what he has to, we have to do to get him to say, hey, guys, why don't we get together and play Fistful of Lead? Yeah, well, you're also up there in, the Great White North. I would suspect, unless you're out there in the damn woods, you could, if you wanted to, during your brief summer of about 13 days, get together with people and game. Otherwise, you're hip deep in snow. So, I'm speaking, and this is actually rather appropriate. I'm flying solo tonight. Todd is taking his daughter to go see. She's never seen John Carpenter's The Thing with Kurt Russell. So they had a chance to go see it in the theater for their, what is it? It's 40th anniversary, I think it is. Good Lord, that doesn't make you feel old. That was the fourth movie that we saw on Sunday, was The Fifth Element, which, by the way, is 25 years old. If for all of y'all that are older like me or older than me, that 25 years. Good Lord. Whew. Anyway, so yeah, I can see where solo gaming. I can understand that, Chris. That I had a problem with that until I found the local historical game store down in Austin, which unfortunately is no longer around. And no, I'm not saying that it's no longer there because I don't live there anymore. There are vast and varied reasons why that game store is no longer there. But yeah, where I have found it to be most beneficial at getting GW gamers to transition is, and I did this with quite a few players, is I transitioned them from 40K to Flames of War. And then once I got them into Flames of War and understanding World War II, I was able to get them into other non 6-sided die gaming using the same models. That's cool, Dave. The Battle of the Philippine Sea just turned 80. I wasn't around, but my uncle was on North Carolina at the battle. Check out Rangers of Shadow Deep solo mini game. Um, with the name Shadow Deep, is that Dungeons and Dragons of some permutation? If it is, I'm all good with that because I love Dungeons and Dragons also. Um, so yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, I'm not sure. Um, I'm sure McMurray had to work tonight. As I said, Wormut just had a near heart attack, so I'm sure that's why he's not here. And then Jeff is on vacation, and so I'm sure he's just hanging out doing his thing. Hizzy Cat says yes, it is Dungeons and Dragons related. Okay, that's cool. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, anybody else who got solo games that they play? I'd be interested to know about. Um, I'm wanting to get the US sub version of the Hunters. I don't remember the name of the game, but it's difficult to get a hold of. So we'll have to see if I can get a hold of that in anytime in the near future. But yeah, so far I am enjoying Normandy 44. I got to get around the but ifs. Um, Good example is the terrain that a defending unit is sitting in provides additional defensive points. But if the unit is a strong point, it doesn't get that defensive bonus. Um, or you have to roll for your weather at the beginning of each turn. But if it's turn one or turn one it's historically this, turn two it's you roll the dice 1 through 3 is this, 4 through 6 is that. So yeah, there's a lot of that going on with it. One thing that has actually saved me is I've been got to deal with the combat results table, and I was having a problem with if I've got the attacker's got 18 points and the defense has got 6 points, well, that's a 3-1, that's obvious. But if it was 12 to 9, well, apparently or 12 to 10, that's a 1-1, not some other obscure number. Because I'm thinking mathematically, you reduce fractions, etc., and so forth. Well, somebody came along, and what did I do with that? Somebody came along and made my life a hell of a lot easier by creating a chart that I can't seem to find right now for some dumbass reason. That has all of the different ratios that could possibly be gotten. There it is. So, for instance, if the attacker is an 11 against the defender is a 6, well, that's a 1-1. If it's an 11 to 5, it's 2-1. So I was having problems, breaking that down in my brain, but now I've got this and I don't need to worry about it. Also, like I said, the rules aren't in any sort of order, or they're in an order that makes sense to gamers, board gamers. they didn't make sense to me because they weren't in play order. So somebody came up with this, and it's how you figure out, or it's everything is in play order. So it's got the rules as you go through the turn sequence. So that's helped also quite a bit. So it's stuff like that. And I found all that on Board Game Geek. If you're into board games and if you're into board games, you're probably already are on Board Game Geek a lot. But if you're new to board games, or you're thinking about getting a board game for the first time, definitely go to boardgamegeek.com and check it out. This game's been out long enough that all of these player aids have been produced by somebody else, so I didn't have to. All I had to do was find them and download them. So Chris Long says, I'm kicking butt in the ACW challenge. Yes, that I've seen what you've been doing, and you're doing a great job. I love seeing what you're doing. So that keep up the good work. I love seeing all of the progress you're doing. And he says, I'm enjoying playing non-game solo due to the encounters event tables. Well, there you go. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's solo gaming can be fun. Again, once I figure out all the but ifs with this game, I'm sure I'll be able to have a lot more fun with it. So yeah, I had made mention. Silver Bayonet, a war game of Napoleonic Gothic horror, has a solo mode. Okay, very good. I'll look at that. I had mentioned that we would talk about Force on Force. So a while back, 6, 8, 10 months ago, Sean Carpenter, half of the team, Peggy is just as much part of it as Sean and Robbie are. But Sean Carpenter, one of the authors of Ambush Alley and Force on Force, came out and said, hey guys, due to life and work and family, I'm having to put I've stopped working on the next version of Force on Force. It indefinitely been put on hold. We're not going to be doing any work on it whatsoever. Well, a couple of weeks ago, he just posted that due to things clearing up, he is now back to working on getting Force on Force version 3 back up and running. To the point where he's hoping to actually do a new Force on Force PDF. For as long it will happen. When it will happen, as it getting out into PDF, I'm not sure. But, and for those that are fans of Force on Force and Ambush Alley, you don't want to miss next week. You don't want to miss next week's show because I'll have Sean Carpenter on the show. I reached out to him and said, hey, Sean, I think this is the perfect time for you to come on the show. He's never been on my show. I did have him. I did line him up to come on to Matt's show a while back and talk about Force on Force. But he's never been on Chronicles. So he will be here. barring any world events or any family events, Sean will be on the show next week. So Reese, if you're a fan of Force or you want to know more about Force on Force or Ambush Alley, come watch the show. Chris Long, definitely be here, buddy. It's going to be a good time. Sean is a great dude. I've actually spoken with him quite a bit before. I was one of his play testers. I even wrote, my brother and I even wrote one of the scenarios that got published in one of the Osprey books. Yeah, Sean's a great dude. We won't hold it against him that he lives in Enid, Oklahoma. But yeah, it's going to be a good time. So definitely come check us out next week. At least it won't be just me. You will actually be able to have somebody else's ugly mug up here. So with that, Force on Force is coming back to life. Something that I always talk about, and it's because it is near and dear to my heart. Y'all have probably already heard or seen that Recruits is coming back this year. It is the last weekend in September, the 24th, 25th, 26th, or 23rd, 24th, 25th, something like that. It is at my old high school, Lee Summit High School in Lee Summit, Missouri, the southeast side of Kansas City metro area. It's still $5 to get in. It's still Friday afternoon, all day Saturday, and Sunday morning. I'll be there. I believe my brother does not have guard duty that weekend, so he doesn't have drill, so he'll be there. We are, fingers crossed, going to have Kanji City there. I am drawing a blank, guys, and I am sorry. That genre that's got all the future cyberpunk. Good God, yes. Bear season. I don't want to know. Reese, if you go hunting bears, that's on you, dude. You can either go out and shoot bears. At least that's what I hope you're saying bear season is. If it's something else that's weird that McMurray would bring up, that's on you, dude. Bear bow hunting. And again, I'm hoping that is spelled right, BEAR, not BARE, because bear bow hunting would be something completely different also that I want no part of. And what did a damn bear do to you? Anyway, be that as it may. McMurray is going to be at Recruits. I have no doubt he'll be. I'm sure he'll be running some games. The Baron, Jay Wiley, will be there. He'll be having some games there. Maybe we'll have the ability to get Sean up to Recruits and see some stuff there with Force on Force and Ambush Alley. We'll see. We'll hopefully it'll be as good as it was in the past. As y'all know, I've said it before. I'll say it again. Recruits is my all-time favorite gaming convention. That being said, March to Victory, which obviously is in March, is my second favorite. Now, I am much more entwined with March to Victory. I actually help run the convention with Jay Wiley and the Baroness Robin. Donna does a great job of helping out with taking over registration. So we are an integral part of it. But just as participants, recruits is my go-to. I love recruits. Have been to many different recruits conventions. Hope to have many more in September. We'll be there. Yes, please, Sissy Cat. Do as Sissy Cat says and hit that like button. I appreciate that also. If you are not subscribed, and I'm sure all of y'all are, if y'all are not subscribed, please click the subscribe button. I'm at 181. We need 19 more to get to 200. We're getting close to just a month left. I would probably be closer to 190 if people hadn't been unsubscribing. I don't know why they're unsubscribing. Maybe they don't like the content. Maybe they don't like that I haven't been putting out content. Be that as it may, if they want to leave, they want to leave. I'm not going to get bent out of shape, But if you're here and you're not subscribed, please do me the favor and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. So like I said, in 8 days, I've got J3, that stands for Jay's July Jamboree. It's his invitation only gaming convention, gaming event here in West Central Illinois, or Central West Illinois. Either way, we're by the Mississippi River, just south of Hannibal. That's us. Yeah, I'm not letting it bother me. You know what? It's if they don't want to be here, then and they don't want to see my stuff pop up. That's okay. It makes no difference to me. I'm not here for the subs. I'm not here for I'm here for this little group of people that come to watch every week and exchange ideas. That's what I'm here for. I love every one of you guys. And the more the merrier, sure. But if someone does not want to participate in the content that I provide, then, that's fine too. So got the J3 thing going. Then at the end of July, we've got the gaming event there at Three Trails Brewing in Independence. And that is a fundraiser for March to Victory. So the last gaming event, which was the May the 4th event, we gathered something like $400, maybe a little more. I don't remember, towards the cost of the event space. So hopefully we can get about at least that, if not a little more, this go round. Again, if you can't make it to the Kansas City area to participate, you can buy raffle tickets, $3 per raffle ticket, and that gets you into the drawing at the end of, I believe we're probably going to do that at the end of Saturday again, and be all kinds of fun stuff. Also, if you like, you can also order a glass. It's $10 for the glass. In the United States, it's $7 shipping. I have no idea what it is internationally. I am sure It's like $800,000 to ship a single glass over to Australia. So it'll be the most expensive glass you'll ever buy, ever. Um, but all of that all of the profits and proceeds from all of this goes to paying for the venue for March of Victory 2023. As good as March of Victory was in 2022, March of Victory 2023, I can only imagine will be even better. More games, more people, more fun. That's our goal, of course. That any gaming convention that I take part in is I'm there again for the social interaction. Seeing friends that I don't get to see frequently. My best friend in the world, Chris Copeland. Y'all have heard me talk about him before. I get to see him about 3 or 4 times a year, and the vast majority of those times are due to gaming events, whether it's Recruits or J3 or CJ3, which I'm not sure if I'm going to continue having. January is always been iffy. And then, of course, the last couple of years with COVID has made it even iffier. 54, Chuck. Well, outstanding. I'm glad to hear you got 54. That car 54. Where are you? So yeah, it's the gaming events that I go to are, it's more for, again, the same reason I game. Period is it's for the social interaction. I know there's a lot of people out there that love the competition and they just really get geared up and got to go in there and win at all costs. Like, no, that's why I don't do tournaments anymore. I used to do tournaments because it guaranteed me 3 games in a day. But then I realized I don't like the majority of these people. I don't like their attitudes. Outside of gaming, I wouldn't probably hang out with these people because they're jackasses. I mean, I'm a jackass. Don't get me wrong. I have no illusions that I'm not a jackass, but it was. I realized that these guys, they are a lot of tournament goers are win at all costs and get bent out of shape if, nope, you're exactly 1/16 of an inch too short to do what you want to do. I'm the type of guy like, I know what your intention is. Go ahead and do it. Does that mean I get my face fragged? Sure, but you know what? Oh well, that's it. Ted, yes. Hello, Ted. I believe I have not seen you on here before, but welcome. Thank you, sir. Yes, March of Victory 22 was great for the social catch-up. And Recruits is the same way. Every year, Recruits has been that for me. Getting to see people that I haven't seen in years in some cases, especially when I lived in Austin. I would make that 12-hour drive when it was both in the spring and the fall. I would make that 12-hour drive twice a year. Luckily, the wife's family still lives, in Kansas City, so I'd be able to bring her along, etc. So Tiger Shadow, yeah, people do suck. I'm not a fan of people, and you guys aren't people. You guys are I would game with every single one of you guys. If we lived close enough to sit down face to face across the table, I would game with every single one of you guys. Chuck, new house rule. Let me know what that new house rule is. Only one jackass allowed in the game room at any one time. Well, that's the thing. There's levels of jackassery because trust me, I've got my own jackassery. McMurray definitely has his jackassery, but together we're good. You know, let's see here. Ted says I've purposely stayed away from the min-max tourney games. Yeah, I'm the same way. Joy of Wargaming. Good day to you, sir. It's still mid-afternoon for you out there in Hawaii. Hissy Cat says, congrats to Chuck. Yes, Chuck, absolutely. Congrats on those 54. Chuck says, yeah, one check. Tiger Shadow says, the Joy Wargaming, the king of solo wargaming. Yeah, John, you are definitely solo wargamer. Not a jackass, but an asshole. Yeah, well, you know what? Sometimes better be an asshole than a whole ass. Now, to be fair, it's better when there's multiple people saying that. I went to Central Missouri State University, now the University of Central Missouri, home of the Fighting Mules. God's honest truth, our mascot is the mule. And I graduated. So it doesn't make me a jackass. It makes me a smart ass. I've got the diploma to prove it. If I had quit before graduating, I would have been a dumbass. And while I was still going, I was just an ass. But one man's jackassery is another man's cheese dickery. Some rules lend themselves to that sort of thing. Exactly. I agree. The nice thing about being a solo wargamer is that you have the best opponent in the world. Hissy is rolling on the floor, laughing his ass off. Chuck says, okay, some exceptions for the special high-end jackasses. See, some of us are professional jackasses. So, yeah. Yeah, it's... But by going to those tournaments early on when I got back into gaming in Austin, I did meet a couple of my really good close friends there in Austin and they're the ones that I transitioned out of playing Games Workshop games and into first getting into playing Flames of War and then getting into playing other things like Force on Force. I didn't know Fistful of Lead as well back then as I do now. Both which, hey, just in time.
Miss me?
Hex. How are you, sir?
We've got like a bunch of thunder boom booms going on through this area till like 3 a.m. So
outstanding.
It's gotten quiet here over the last couple of minutes. I said, let's sneak on real quick.
All right. Glad to have you.
So sneak it, I have.
There you go. We've been talking solo wargaming. We've been talking conventions. We've been talking about jackassery.
Yeah, I know a couple jackasses.
Yep. Got Joy of Wargaming. As Tiger Shadow says, the king of solo wargaming when it comes to miniatures.
I challenge you to a solo wargaming competition, Joy.
Well, he's got it down for miniatures, and you got it down for board games, definitely.
Well, I would think it'd be interesting to figure out how to do that.
Let's see. Hitchcats at the University of Santa Cruz's mascot is the banana slug. Yep. Yes, Reese. Thunder Boom Boom is a technical term. I took both a meteorology class and a climatology class, and that term was definitely used. Ted says, side note, I'm going to use Fistful of Lead for summer toy soldier camps for 2nd through 4th graders, both World War II and sci-fi. Very cool. Definitely let us know what's going on. And if you have not already, get a hold of Jay Wiley. Go to the either the Wiley Discord or the Wiley Facebook group and PM him. Let him know that you're doing stuff, and he'll send out some swag. He'll send you some swag. So don't worry. We challenged me to World of Tanks. He never showed up.
I still don't have his. I still don't have the friend invite from him. It's probably
shots fired. Shots fired. Tiger Shadow says, "Joy Wargaming. This episode was made with you in mind. Would have been awesome to have you on." Yeah, I had literally just came up with this idea yesterday. I do want to get John back on the show. So we'll have to set up. We'll have to set that up, John. I definitely would like to have you back on the show again. Ted says he's doing it in 54 millimeter. Very cool. Reese does his gaming in 54 millimeter also. So yeah, that y'all can chit chat as well. You can head over to the Not J Discord also. I know Reese is there. So yeah, chat it up about your 54 millimeter stuff. That's cool, dude. John says, I defer to Hexy. Those counter games get crazy complicated. Yes, they do. I'm like I said, I'm making my way through Normandy 44. It's gonna be good. I know it is. In the deepest depths of my heart, it's gonna be very good. I just need to go down and do it.
Somewhere along the line, you're going to be playing one evening,
and it's going to
go. You're not going to be looking at the rule book for about 15, 20 minutes, and you're going to look up and say, "Oh shit, I got it."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'll happen. Hissy says it was sent.
Yeah, I'm sure it was, and it's probably my dumbass probably has something blocked. Then again, I haven't turned the game on the last 3 weeks either, so.
Reese wants to know what figure manufacturers, and that's back to Ted with the 54 millimeter. And Hissy says, I prefer my porn in 54 millimeter. For those of us that are old enough, probably remember the old Super 8 Stag films. And then Chuck says, okay, Mr. Joy versus Mr. Hex, 300.2 millimeter chainmail. Yeah, let me go grab my army. It's the basmati rice in the bag. I kid. Anyway,
I kid.
So one of the things I was saying earlier, Jeff, is the reason I seem to have an issue with solo gaming is, to me, gaming is the social interaction,
right?
And just sitting here in the room, either with a YouTube video on or a movie on, or just listening to music, I get distracted. I pick up the phone and check Facebook. I pick up the phone and see if any of you guys are chatting, or what have you.
Yeah, our group's been kind of hush lately. Everybody's little, Brian's current dilemma, and Todd's busy as can be. Andrew's working his butt off.
Yeah,
and I just got lost in space. So,
well, understandable that with my past week and a half that I was dealing with. I'm hoping, like I said earlier, I'm hoping to get sit back down tomorrow night and get to playing again. maybe some of the guys will be available for a call, and I can have my social interaction that way. You doing your thing and I can be doing my thing, and we can just chit chat.
Well, I'm a solo player. That's just not that I don't think I can't sit down, but I'm too antsy.
Right.
if I go away, which I'm going to be going away here soon for that. Well, in September, I'm going to go test play that Battle of the Wilderness game. But that'll be a whole different story because I'm test playing a new game that hit the market yet. But for me to go somewhere and play with some people, I'll get there and I might start playing, and after about an hour, I want to get up and go do something else.
Yeah.
So that's, to me, solo wargaming is a blessing because
you can
I played half a turn, as I'm learning, and I'm saying, okay, that's enough for tonight. And there's no opponent here to get pissed off at me.
Right. So, his cat wants to know, how do you 2mm? How do you paint the eyes? You don't. Ted says, cheap Amazon World War II dudes, the core sci-fi humans versus Dollar Tree final faction bugs, new line of figs. Chuck says, close your eyes and pray. Well, there you go. World War II aren't horrible. The core soldiers are very Starship Troopers, as are the bugs. Oh, okay, very cool.
They always got bags of World War II infantry up there in our Family Dollar or Dollar Tree.
Oh yeah, they're
like 60 soldiers.
Yep. So, what? So obviously, you being the solo war gamer, probably more so due to your attention disorder, so to speak. What is it that actually got you started gaming? What?
Okay. Well, this probably is what's going to be the sellout to me being a solo war gamer. So when I was probably in 7th or 8th grade, the neighborhood I lived in, there were 2 or 3 guys, 2 that were dedicated. One was to Napoleonics and one was to just about anything. And they had quite a few games. And I started to play with them. And then my parents got divorced and we ended up moving. So I didn't have that, that local connection anymore. And it was still new to me. And then Mom bought me my first game. Well, actually, I'll take it back. I bought my first game with some birthday money. And then I got Terrible Swift Sword that year for Christmas. So it was just me and my sister. My mom had to work. So I was home with my sister, especially during the summer. And I would set games up, and that's how I started playing. And it's just, and even though I took a long hiatus while I was in the military and not playing, when I came back, that's probably the only thing that fell into place was just solo playing.
Sure.
And it just works for me because I want to muddle through stuff. And plus with the streaming thing now, or with doing YouTube, so which I haven't streamed in a while. I need to stream some stuff. But I like to, I spend more time talking about how something works in the game or reviewing what outcomes I've had for the turns that I've played. That eats it up right there. So there's really, and I can't say that I don't have people in the area to play because I'm only an hour west of Washington, D.C. in the Shenandoah Valley.
Yeah.
There's tons of them. But me reaching out and getting in touch with somebody to do it and then having to get in my car and go drive somewhere to play, that makes my antsiness that much worse. And then because I'm Jeffy, I want to come home to my house and play with my toys.
Right. I get that. So Terrible Swift Sword was, okay, what was the game that you purchased with your birthday money?
I want to say it was called, Grenadier. It was kind of like a pike and medieval game with just flat white hexagon maps. You might put 6 of them together. They were just little bitty maps, and you might find any kind of different battles. It never really stuck with me. But then when I got Terrible Swift Sword for Christmas, that was it.
Yeah. And I mean, you growing up in the heart of Civil War battlefields, I mean, you can't swing a dead, right now where you live, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a battlefield.
Yeah.
I can see why Civil War is your go-to, so to speak.
Hell, I remember going to get married my first time up in Odense, overseas in Europe, and hadn't touched, looked, bought, purchased, played, or anything a game in a couple of years. And we went up to get married, and we're walking around town and went to like a knick-knack store, and here was 2 war games. And I still have both of those war games, and that was from like 1982.
There you go.
And I still have both of them, but they were American Avalon Hill war games, little small box ones. One was Waterloo, and one was Devil's or Little Round Top, the 20th Maine fight around Little Round Top. I still got both of those games. I tried to send one to McMurray. It's in a box out there, but that box has been packed up, ready to go for 2 months now.
You use the same mailing method that Matt used to.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll send that out. I'll get that sent out. I got it packed up. I just have to go to I just have to get out to the post office.
There's like 4 games in that box too.
So, I go back and I think about what my first game was. And I know the first true miniature game that I was exposed to was, again, it wasn't known as Warhammer 40K back then. It was just known as
Warhammer?
Rogue Trader.
Oh.
And it said Warhammer 40,000, but it was just Rogue Trader that my brother got Christmas of '87. Prior to that, though, I think the first game that I ever bought was FAS's Star Trek, the Starship Tactical Simulator. Starship Combat Tactical Simulator. Loved that game. In fact, I wish I still had all my miniatures for it. It started off as just a hex and counter game. It was a black map with white hexes on it. I don't even think it may or may not have had white dots that were stars. I don't remember. But all of the counters were hexagonal counters with the different starships on it.
Yeah, I know the game you're talking about. Yeah, go ahead.
I had looked at Amarillo Design Bureau's Starfleet Battles. Starfleet Battles is someone made this analogy or comparison, I should say, earlier today. In fact, it was on my brother's Twitter page or Twitter, whatever. He tweeted about it. I don't know from Twitter. Anyway, and he said it's very much like ASL. The base game is quite easy. It's when you start having all the chrome, all the add-ons, that it takes up a 3-ring binder.
Yeah.
A 3-inch 3-ring binder.
Like Squad Leader.
Yeah. So, gonna go ahead and grab some of these. Reese said, interesting if you ever get into ACW, AWI, or Colonial and 54mm armies, and plastics is affordable on the skirmish scale. Tiger Shadow says, they're good for conversions too, Reese. Reese says, yes, they are. Reese says, I fell down the slippery slope of 135th models figures for World War II, Korea, and Vietnam.
That's what I did originally.
Yeah, Tiger says, yeah, me the same for World War II. Ted says, I made the decision to go skirmish for World War II and sci-fi simply due to student numbers. I'm going to have 16 students for World War II. I figure I'll run the same scenario on 2 tables. There you go. Reese says, are you on the Discord, Tiger Shadow? He says, I still have my Rogue Trader rule book.
I got a comment about Hissy. Let me tell you what Hissy's favorite game is right now, because I've been watching him play it. He's got this game where he drives a flatbed truck with a crane around picking up wood and junk and hookers.
Outstanding.
I've been watching him.
Is it a recreation of Missouri? It sounds like what happens in Missouri. I'm just saying. And Ted says it's going to be 4v4 times 2. Very cool. Tiger Shadow says question mark, no question mark. I think that's in response to Reese. Tiger Shadow says, Ted, what's your storage situation like? Mine is now occupation of the spare bedroom. Reese says, I'm just trying to figure out how to see your work. Plastic subs, I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to store them. Well, there's good enough. Snow Runner.
Oh, I thought it was called Hoe Runner. My bad. yes, I'm sorry. I usually watch them on my TV, so I can't comment on my TV. And then when I think about later putting a comment, I've done forgot about it by then. But I like to watch them after on my big television. Yeah, I check them out. I'm like, what in the hell is he doing? One minute he's playing infantry on a map, shooting shit up. Next he's driving a damn flatbed truck around.
There you go. He says, are you liking them? It looks like he does. He's been giving you the thumbs up. And he says thanks. So, yeah, I'm currently in the American combat phase of turn 2.
You need a second camera.
Yeah, I know. So I got it set up right there.
So you're like me. You're sort of slugging along like I'm slugging along learning this thing.
Yeah. Like I said, this book right here that I made, it's all of the rules in turn sequence order.
There you go.
So that has helped a lot. And I told you about this right here. This has been a lifesaver.
I got that. I've got that.
This is a lifesaver right here.
I'm playing EFS on my computer on Vassal by myself, and I got it sitting right up there next to my other computer.
Because I was not understanding that shit at all. I mean, I understand it, I get it, but deriving these numbers up here when it wasn't crystal clear,
right?
Because perfect example, a 10-6, attacker 10, defender 6 is 1-to-1, and right. And that breaks my head.
Wait till you get to those ones where you got to do where you have odds like 3-2 on the combat chart. They're out there. They exist. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Well, this one here, I had an attack last night that was the attacker only had 10 and the defender had 11. And we told you that in the basic odds, that would be 1-2.
Yeah.
Well, in this game here, it's not. It goes to the closest one. So it's 1-to-1 in this game. Okay, here's a question for all you out there listening in. What's on your gaming table right now? Everybody in the chat, what do you got on the table right now?
Ted says, while not solo, has anyone tried Star Trek Fleet Captains? It really captures the essence of TOS in terms of exploration and combat. I have not. I need to. I want to. I love Star Trek. And I've talked about this before, where people will say, "Well, you either love Star Wars and hate Star Trek, or you love Star Trek and you hate Star Wars." Nope. I love both. 54 millimeter sniper duels.
That's what he's playing.
Hissy Cat's got Warfighter.
Oh, I want that. I want the freaking aliens. That's the only sci-fi game that Hexy would love to have is, and I know I can get it. I just not going and look. One of the aliens games.
I think Miniature Market's got it on sale.
I'm sending Reese all the miniatures to paint before I play it.
Ted says, I played Aliens Bug Hunt last night. Otherwise, Rangers of Shadow Deep. It's a Dungeons and Dragons
Yeah, I have. You remember the old Forgotten Realms computer
Yeah.
collection? I have that entire package.
Skylar Gremlin is in the house. Is on my table right now. Is Fistful of Lead Trek.
What's Trek?
Star Trek.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, I'm a big. I love Star Trek. I love Star Wars. I love both. I love Star Wars more, but I can get down with some Star Trek. I like me some Star Trek. His cat wants to know, how do you like Rangers of Shadow Deep? See, this is the type of stuff that I like. Side conversations, perfectly okay. It's the community. I like the community that we have here. So yeah, I'm thinking tomorrow, after Donna works till 6. Then we're going to come home, have some dinner. So probably by about 7:30 or so, I should be back here grinding away on the game, trying to figure it out. Ted Kahn says Bug Hunt can be played solo. Glorious Day in the Core is a very different beast, also soloable. I'm thinking of playing a solo mini game on my channel, that being one of them. And you said Aliens is your favorite movie.
Oh, that's my favorite movie. Why don't you put her in charge, man?
Rangers of Shadow Deep is fantastic RPG light. It's like it better than Frostgrave because it's mission based. Very cool. Okay.
Chuck, I checked out some of your Cowboys and Lizards snaps you put on. Was it Facebook? I think you stuck them on Facebook. I haven't catch them on there. That's pretty cool. I saw what they do? Shove that one lizard's head into between those two rocks after they killed him.
Ted says Aliens is in my top 5. Now again, next week we've got Sean Carpenter on the show, creator of Force on Force and Ambush Alley, and so he'll be talking about what's happening with Ambush Alley, Force on Force version 3. The week after that, it'll be July 6th. And I think it might be a good time to revisit, hey, these are the movies or the TV shows or the books that inspire me to game. Obviously, Star Trek and Star Wars are two of my biggest influences. But there's others out there. Yeah, Ted. Yeah, he is good people. I have worked with Sean for many years now, and he's a great guy. Excuse me. So, need to get with John from Joy of Wargaming, get him onto the show at some point. I want to get Chris Long on here, talking about some cowboy gaming.
Cowboy, baby.
And then also a friend of mine that I know through my brother, bring him on for some naval wargaming chat. I want to make sure McMurray is on that one for that, though. So this is that Ted Con. Cool. It looks really fun. And Chuck says rocks, cave, mine interest, lizards coming to the center of the earth.
He had some serious lizards in that game. I saw about 8 of them coming on the map or the board from one side.
So, but yeah, tomorrow. You know what? Tomorrow night, I might just jump onto Discord and chat it up. For those who have not yet, where are you, Discord? Where are you? No, that's BattleNet. No, that's Cheaty Box. Oh, there you are. Any naval solo rules? Well, there are the submarine games, like the Hunters.
Doesn't what's his name, Stuka Joe? Doesn't his CDG solo rules, aren't they built to play that?
Which who?
Stuka Joe put out, GMT published his solo rules for card-driven games in GMT. Isn't
That
that
I'm
one
not
of them
sure
that it
of.
applies to, or is that a solo game by itself?
What, this one here?
Yeah.
This is a solo game,
Okay. All right.
which I enjoy a lot. Like I said, I don't remember the name of the American games. Mini solo game. I don't know of any any solo games in naval. Um, yeah, I'm the there may be some out there, but the two big ones that I know of, General Quarters is you could probably play it solo. Uh, the problem with that is you have to write your orders. So and they're hidden until they're revealed. So that could be a little screwy. I think you'd have to come up with an AI somehow to do that, where you play your side the way you normally would, and then your opponent would need to follow certain criteria. Um, the other one is Naval Thunder. Um, I have zero experience with Naval Thunder.
What about
Uh,
your game?
my game, you could probably play my game solo because everything is simultaneous.
Right.
And you don't have to write orders or anything like that. So yeah, you could probably play Ocean Thunder solo pretty easily. Um, let's see here. Ted says Hissy Cat Studio is well worth the effort. He said any naval game solo. Third Predator movie. Haven't seen that one, Chuck. I think so. I think I'm sold on it. Sorry, mini solo naval. Cowboys rolled crazy. Seemed like nothing but natural 8s, 9s, and 10s. It happens. I don't think Victory at Sea can be played solo. That's the only one I have for World War II.
You say Victory at Sea to me, and I start thinking of what was it? Victory Games is Big. Victory at Sea game. It was either them or it was old Avalon Hill. I can't remember, but
there was a Victory at Sea board game. I think I might still have it somewhere.
I want to say it was Avalon Hill. I don't think it was Victory. I think Victory Games was Pacific or something like that.
Anyway, the game I had was called Victory at Sea, and the rules for it were mind-boggling. Apparently, if I remember correctly, it was all kinds of charts, and it one of the things was you have to roll for the condition of your captain or your fleet admiral or whatever prior to the scenario.
Right.
Because you had to see whether he had an upset stomach or not that day to determine whether, how effective he was going to be.
Like the Confederates in AP Hill. Whether he was going to be in the saddle or sick.
Yeah, so anyway, for those that are not currently on Discord, on the Not J Discord, let me see if I can find a server settings, privacy settings. No, I can never figure out how to do this.
Well, you look for things and I'll
invite people. Here we go.
Fantastic.
Server invite link to a friend. This is going to be good. Oh, hey, might be.
I'm never going to get it straight up. No, it's just not that I haven't done anything new in a while. So, like I say, you heard my comment about painting recently. I've been like in a in a dead zone of painting, but I mean, I still got some stuff.
Yeah.
There's no.
Hey, you're doing it though. Even though you're gonna pack it all up and
Send it to some miscreant.
yeah. So this is the not Jay's Discord server link. If you're not already there, definitely hop on there. And I might just jump on the voice channel there tomorrow night and see if anybody shows up. There you go. So we just had another one join the Discord channel. So yeah, you will be. I'll hop on there probably around 7:30, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, and just be there figuring out this game. You can listen to me, read rules to myself. And if anybody has actually played the game and has Chuck has any kind of tips for me, that would be good too. So, but well, we're are quickly rolling up to an hour 40 in. First hour brought to you by me solo for solo gaming, playing with yourself. And then we had Jeffy come join us. Thank you for hopping on. I'm glad you didn't have to. You could stop hiding in the closet.
Yeah, I did. I came out the second time today.
Yeah, from your Thunder Boomers. Was really weird. So last night, had to go up to Jay and Beth's house to turn the temperature up. They left the house on Sunday at 70. They asked me to go up and turn it up to 80 because they're not there, and literally nobody is in the house. The dogs are at the kennel. The cats are mostly outside cats. So there's literally nobody in the house right now. So I went up there and turned it up to 80. Well, it was about this time at night, and I looked off to the north, and there was one hell of a lightning storm going up north. We didn't actually have rain in the forecast. We didn't have anything. But and last time I saw lightning like that was when I was in Texas, and we have heat lightning down there all the damn time.
Right.
It's not associated with a storm system. It's just there's clouds, and it decides it wants to light the night up like nobody's business. So I thought that was pretty cool. I love thunderstorms, though. Being that I grew up in Texas, we could see them coming literally from miles away. A friend of mine from middle school and early high school, he still lives down there, and he lives south of San Antonio by about 30 miles or so, and he'll take a photo of a big old thunderhead and show the radar where that storm is, and it'll be over the north side of San Antonio. He lives on the south, 30 miles south of San Antonio. So, yeah. Chuck says, in the magazine with Birth of a Nation, there is a squad leader scenario, 85. Tempting.
Chuck, do you have squad leader?
The question I've got for you is, to play scenario 85, how many different extra modules do you got to have for squad leader to play that, because apparently there's like 813,000 different squad leader add-ons that does different things. Paul says, I went to Texas. I want to go to Texas and try some barbecue. When you do that, Paul, let me know. First off,
PB!
Yeah, Paulie was on earlier. He's been popping in and out. He says he's doing better. So, and that he has missed us, and we have missed him. The first thing you need to understand is where you're going to want to go for barbecue is the small town southeast of Austin called Lockhart. That's where you want to go. There's Smitty's and there's Kreitz. You don't need to go anywhere else. You might want to go up to there's a place up just south of Austin is also called Salt Lick. That's a good place as well. And then place up in Llano. It's spelled Llano, Llano, but in Texas we pronounce it Llano because we're a bunch of hicks. And there's a place, if I remember correctly, it's called Cooper's. They also have pretty good. So Ted says, now I'm on Discord. Yep, I see you there, sir. Thank you for joining. Yep, see you, Ted. Thanks for coming on, buddy. Hope to see more of you here. And if you share what you want on the channels, photos and whatnot. Is Texas barbecue better than Australian Vegemite? Okay, so I've never had Australian Vegemite, but I understand what it is. And yes, absolutely, Texas barbecue is better than Australian Vegemite because you don't smear it on bread from the bottom of a yeasted wheat cask. Ugh. Ugh. I can't even imagine. Anyway, he says got squad leader, Cross of Iron, and Crescendo of Doom.
You got those sitting down here, doing nothing, taking up space.
I lived on chicken broth and Jello for 4 weeks. I kept going by watching Texas barbecue vids on YouTube. Oh, buddy, I'm so sorry. Yeah, chicken broth. Now, keep in mind, for us Americans, I'm assuming Paul is referring to Jello, gelatin. They call it jelly. I don't think he's talking about, grape jelly that goes on peanut butter, but he's talking about gelatin. No, absolutely not, Reese. Apple butter peanut butter sandwiches are the second best peanut butter sandwich out there. The first, of course, is peanut butter and strawberry. Period. But peanut butter and apple butter is great. And of course, we always end up talking about food on this damn channel. So, all righty, guys. My daily lunch at work. That's a good lunch there, Reese. Now, here's the question. Do you eat it on a whole wheat or white? There is a correct answer, and white's not it. I'm very much a whole wheat guy, unless it's A, French toast, or B, a grilled cheese sandwich.
Oh, grilled cheese.
Grilled cheese got to be on white bread. You can't do a grilled cheese on wheat bread. It's just not right.
I've done it on 100% wheat. It's tolerable, but
for me, it's a consistency thing.
Doesn't touch white.
Yeah, to me, it's a consistency thing. For a regular non-grilled sandwich, I prefer wheat or whole wheat or multigrain. It's a consistency thing. But for stuff like French toast or anything that's toasted, I prefer some version of white bread. Hissy Cat says toasted peanut butter and butter, best ever. Not too shabby. I'm not going to argue. What I like to do is just take just toast and then put peanut butter on the toast and eat it open faced.
I just eat peanut butter out of the jar.
Well, you can do that too. I've got to be careful with that now though. I should have been careful with it for many years now, but there is quite a bit of not cholesterol. There is that, but there's quite a bit of carbohydrates in peanut butter, so I got to be careful.
Oh, that's right. You have to watch those P's and Q's and D's and A's now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I should have been doing it for the last 12 years, and
all should have.
I haven't, but I'm better. I'm getting better. So, all right, guys. Well, we're a minute or an hour 45 in. I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Thanks one and all for showing up. I truly appreciate it. You guys are great. I love every single one of you guys. Paul, I'm glad you're back. Keep getting better, dude. Just keep on. Just
you got to come over here and go to Gettysburg.
Yeah, if Paul comes over, goes to Gettysburg, I will damn near guarantee you McMurray and I will definitely be out there. So, Chuck says flour, tortilla, apple jelly, and peanut butter. That sounds good. So, all right. Again, next week we've got Sean Carpenter of Ambush Alley Games talking about the new version of Force on Force. I originally asked him to be here this week, but he said he wanted to get some things wrapped up and solidified before he came on so he could talk about it. So we will have him on next week. I'm thinking the 8 o'clock start time. It's going to be, it seems to be a little bit better, at least for me. And Paul says, it's my goal. I'll do my best. That's all we can ask for, buddy. Take care of yourself. Take care, Chuck, Tiger Shadow, Dave Hall. Thanks for the solo show. Good evening to all. Hissy Cat, Reese, thank you for being here. Paul, of course. Who else did we have? Ted. We had a lot of people here tonight. Of course, Gremlin, thank you for showing up. Dave Hall, I think I already said. John from Joy of Wargaming was here. Bunkhouse was here. Yeah, thanks one and all. If I didn't mention you, I apologize. We had a very busy chat tonight. Thanks again, everybody. Y'all have a great night. And Jeff, thanks for popping in. And until next time, we'll see you on the flip.